letter to a judge, I guess. Again, I want to say one more time, defending a PDF file. And he knew. He knew. His loyalty and willingness to help a fellow actor and crew member was also outstanding. Why are we bragging about somebody that you knew? I'm going to say it with a child that you're making money on. Why are you bragging for him? Bizarre. Many times I've seen him perform above and beyond the call of duty, and it would be my pleasure to not only work with him again, but also to recommend him for any future role. Remember that line. He goes, but also to recommend him for any future role. I would be honored. Honored, he said. Are you so honored? How are you feeling today? I would be honored to attach my name to his recommendation. He said he would be honored. Is everything okay? Okay. He said he would be honored to recommend a PDF file. This is somebody who was working at Nickelodeon past this point. That Drake Bell, for example, was trusting on set. I'm aware of the charges being brought against Brian. He's aware. Thank you for letting me know. I must tell you honestly that Brian is a kind, fair, honest man who deserves a second chance. And who I believe is aware of the mistake he has made and will forever make good on a chance to prove himself worthy of the leniency of the court. Please consider probation for Brian. He was on the judge how to sentence him. He was a child he worked for. I assure you, actually guarantee you, how well do you know this guy? Are you Brian Peck? That Brian is a man of his word and will never dishonor an agreement made with the court. He has taken full responsibility for his mistakes and will be forever regretful of it. Please give him a chance to make good on his word of rehabilitation and display that his restitution is real. Thank you for your time and consideration in this matter. Should you ever need to contact me for any information of my knowledge and recommendation of Brian's character, please don't hesitate to do so. Rich Carell. It seems like you already said enough, right, man? I don't think the judge needs to tell you. I think you put it all on the table there, right? And even said that you were aware of what he was being charged for. The nerve to never apologize to Drake Bell. Unbelievable. But you responded to Us Weekly about Brian Peck. So here's where it gets interesting. So fast forward, Sweet Life of Zach and Cody, right? Rich Carell's working for Disney. Another creepy corporation. Working for them, and magically Brian Peck appears as the mirror. A creepy mirror, to be quite honest. What's very interesting about that, though, is that he was already a convicted SO when he got that job in Sweet Life of Zach and Cody, and Rich Carell was working there. Another layer to it is that he was only doing voiceover. Now, you have to remember, when you are an SO, a child SO, you can't have any physical contact with children. No job positions that can give you physical access to children. So Disney knew, that's why they put him as a voiceover, right? Because he's in a booth. He doesn't have access to children. See how Hollywood is always finding a loophole to either exploit children or ABUSC them? Rich Carell is a prime example. We have now a face of how all of this works. This is how it functions. This is how it operates. Like people. Like Rich Carell. Now he has a wife. No, I'm okay. Alright, so Rich has a wife and her name is Beth Carell. Slime Beth Carell! Yeah, I worked with her. She was working actually on the pilot episode of Zoe 101. So sadly, I ran into this individual. She was a assistant director. Obviously, Rich was a director, so we can maybe see how that all kind of came to be, or that's how they met, maybe. But she is also a PDF file defender. So it's time for us to see again behind the credits that we see at Nickelodeon who they actually are as human beings. So let's see what Beth wrote here. Wow, and this was her second letter, by the way. She wrote 2 letters to the judge. One of them was extremely full of victim blaming. This one was too, but she went overboard, I guess. And then she kind of like tethered it back and wrote this one. And this one's still beyond disgraceful. So let's read it. Dear Judge Hoff, I am one of the former assistant directors of blank. So she's saying Drake and Josh here, okay? So this was blurred out because he was a minor, he's a child. Have worked in the television industry for over 8 years. I have primarily worked on shows with children that either lead or supporting actors. On the majority of those shows, Brian Peck and I have worked together. I first met Brian in 1997. Are these love letters to a PDF file? We worked together almost non-stop until August of 2003. Brian was an asset, was he, to any set on which he has worked. He is patient, kind, and generous, and as a teacher and dialogue coach has helped many young actors improve their skills. He has always conducted himself as a professional. Is it professional to ABUSC a child who is on your set? Sorry, I just lost it for a second. I got triggered. Professional? How is that person professional to you? Where are you? You wrote professional. Drake Bell was a child star on your set. And he was supposed to be a professional, and he wasn't. I have never heard improper language used or witnessed inappropriate or questionable conduct from Brian Peck in the presence of children. First of all, I don't know if I fully believe you on that, and also, why do you have to? Why didn't you believe him? Why didn't you believe a child? What, you wanted to see it? In 1999, while working on The Amanda Show, I met Drake Bell. I have worked with Drake Bell until April 2004 on virtually every project he has ever done for Nickelodeon. You know how sad this is? During that time, I witnessed a boy with some talent. What a diss. Bad. Some talent, the some talent that built this freaking empire almost. Some talent. You're trying to downplay it because guess what she says next? What a disgraceful person you are. Oh, this gets so bad. Okay, some talent turned into a young man with incredible stage presence and due in large part to Brian Peck's efforts. You said that the Predator is the reason why he has star quality and that he went from some talent to more talent. Who are you? You sleep? How's your sleeping going these days? My sleep has been not so good. I wonder what your sleep is like. If you're not losing sleep over this, are you human? Incredible stage presence due to large part Brian Peck emerged, turned into a personable, self-confident performer. She's saying that Drake Bell actually became a performer heels because of his Predator. I must admit that I was surprised at Drake Bell's behavior after hearing of this case and the charges being brought against Brian. Nothing seemed to change in him at all. Who are you to say that? You live inside Drake Bell's mind? Well, because you think you see him on set, you know him? None of you knew us. None of you knew what we experienced while working for you because you didn't care to ask. Instead, you were busy protecting the bad guys instead of sitting down and asking what we were doing or even taking notice to it. On set, he continued to be playful. This is her literally saying that she was witnessing Drake Bell have no signs of trauma at all. With other cast members and crew, he was always talking about his band and music, things that he should only be focusing on as a kid, by the way, and appeared to be excited about his future, the show, and his musical career. He even moved into his own apartment. One more than one occasion, while watching her son perform on the set, she throws the mom in here. The mother, Robin, would say to me, "Look at him. I'm so proud of how mature and responsible he is." Wow. When I heard of Brian's arrest, I was shocked, to say the least. I never knew Brian to engage in any type of illegal activity at all. Why does it matter if you knew? This letter is bizarre to me. Making my living working with children, and I thought that Brian was engaged in anything inappropriate, or illegal, I would have spoken out immediately. No, we learned what you did when you learned. You wrote a letter defending the PDF file. We learned what you did when you found out. It's right here. I'm reading it. I understand that the court may order probation for Brian. I have known Brian for many years as both a co-worker and a friend. I believe that he will comply with all the conditions of probation, yada, yada, yada. She ends it with, "This man is not a predator." Thank you for taking the time. contact me. No one needs to contact you, Beth, anymore. You are a scary individual that you wrote this letter. And Beth is just a symptom of Hollywood in general. We are seeing not only the problem with predators within the industry, but how people around them in positions of power enable their behavior, protect and defend their behavior, which is why I started Eat Predators to begin with, was to go after institutional cover-up and enablers. There needs to be accountability when it comes to us as a community, as bystanders. Where do we draw the line? Where do we draw the line? Who do we defend? Not Brian Peck. All right, here's Karen Fisher. Let's slime Karen Fisher. So she's a sick VP. I'm calling her an enabler because apparently she was on set during this time, and during the Brian Peck and Drake Bell and the whole thing. But let's read what a VP position actually is.
She was the line producer on the
line producer. Yeah, she was a line producer on the Amanda Show. So a line producer is a type of film or television producer who is the head of the production office management personnel during daily operations of a feature film, advertisement film, television film, or TV program. They are responsible for human resources and handling any problems that come up during production. I don't think she did her job well. Don't go say. After making video of Leonardo DiCaprio with Brian Peck, I got a clear picture of what he was like on set. And so if she had anything to do with human resources, she failed.
Did Drake ever go to her?
Yeah. No. You did? From where? Where'd you hear that? No, you didn't. So here's our ad break. So we got an ad break here. I'm sure. Okay, I can't even. Now I need to just laugh a second because that was so heavy. I'm sure you recognize these pizzas. Time at Nickelodeon and how it was exploited. And so I'm asking Nickelodeon, which by the way, this will be the future. We might pass some legislation, there might be some pledges, I don't know yet, but this is what's looming and I want Nickelodeon to know what's coming for them. So I want there to be always age-appropriate content. Age-appropriate content when it comes to Nickelodeon. We all know what that means now, I think I've explained it enough. Zero tolerance for ABUSC. That means any reports, HR, anything, there are consequences for that person's actions. Effective immediately, like we said about Russell Hayes. Effective immediately. Child advocacy representation. I want there to be like a third party, either a nonprofit. I don't know yet. I haven't really flushed this out. But I want someone not funded by you to be on set at all times that's trauma informed and able to look out for the children's best interests, not worried about you paying their bills, essentially. So, child advocacy, representation, and on-set therapy. And this is honestly the most important thing for me. I really want there to be an available therapist, professional therapist, on set at all times. I don't know how many therapists you're going to need to hire since you have so many kids on set at all times, but do it. However many it takes, so they can go, have mental health, wellness checks, be able to speak confidentially to an adult that's professional, be guided, making sure that what they're doing is not pressure, etc. So these are a few demands that I've been thinking about. So I'm putting it on the Nickelodeon magazine. And my final demand is that Dan Schneider's Lifetime Achievement Award gets revoked and that Brian Robbins gets fired. And I know you have the Lifetime Achievement Award, Dan Schneider, and now that you apologize, maybe we don't have to take it away from you. Maybe you give it back.
W.
Give it back. Send it back, and I want to see a TikTok of it. Send it back and be like, I didn't deserve this, because that's how sorry you really are. And Brian Robbins, you're fired, dude, because this mess all kind of weirdly stems from you. And you really haven't done anything. You haven't checked in on Drake Bell, you haven't checked in on anybody, and because of that, you're fired. You're fired. You might just not know it yet, but maybe soon it'll be effective immediately. All right.
Alexa, does mic still work? It hasn't.
Testing.
Weirdo.
Before I forget.
Testing, testing.
Oh, wait,
I forgot to do the last slime. I always forget the last slime.
This happened last time. Yeah, you were swimming over.
So we're sliming NDAs.
Yes.
Slime NDAs.
Yeah, that's another thing, is that we found out that Nickelodeon was trying to get Jeanette McCurdy to sign an NDA, and Dan Schneider also tried to get me to sign an NDA, and NDAs are not okay. Because we can't actually, as a society, know what's going on within these corporations if everyone within them is silent. So it's very important to say no more NDAs so that the community can step in and know what's going on.
Power to survivors!
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 Protect survivors, not predators!
Protect survivors, not predators!
Protect survivors, not predators!
Protect survivors, not predators!
Protect children, not predators!
Protect children, not predators!
Protect children, not predators!
Protect children, not predators!
Survivors united will never be divided!
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 How many NDAs?
How many NDAs?
How many NDAs?
How many NDAs?
NDAs are not okay!
NDAs are not okay!
NDAs are not okay! Enablers! Power to survivors!
To survivors!
Protect your fire!
Protect your fire!
Isn't handy your fire!
Isn't handy your fire!
Eat predators!
Predators!
Survivors, not predators. Believe survivors, not predators.
Yes, yes.